sweeping driveway, its spires and crenellations silhouetted against a grey autumn sky. There was something so alive about the old convent building, something that swooped and pulsed like a murmuration of starlings. I'd always romanticised the place, despite its history. It brought to mind old parchment and knee-deep piles of crunchy red leaves, cellos and dark window panes and snow. The thing that made me truly fall in love with the campus, swiftly and irrevocably, was the immortal cat. Salem wasn't immortal in the traditional sense. Her body changed with each reincarnation from scrubby ginger to slender Siamese. But her soul was said to be the same as it was hundreds of years ago, back when the convent was still in operation. She stalked the same route around the priory every day, visited the same wooded glade every afternoon to bathe on the sun-dappled branches, and curled up in front of the same log fire every evening after a little nip of brandy and milk. When I saw her slinking along the windowsill of the chapel on my campus tour, she had been a sleek Bombay black for the last few years, I felt as though I was witnessing something ancient and sacred, something tapped into a supernatural pulse. I wanted to be part of that more than anything. Be careful what you wish for, as my beloved Goosebumps books used to say. Almost a year later, I could practically feel Dad's apprehension as we pulled up that same sweeping driveway on my first day as a Carvell student. His knuckles gripped the stitched leather steering wheel so tightly they turned white. I knew he was thinking of Janie. Twill dress, tiny sandals, cherubic eyes, dead body. I knew he was thinking of how he would never survive if that was me. I knew he was wondering if it was too late to fetch my mum's hacksaw. After I was offered a place, my parents had eventually come around to the idea of me attending Carvell. They weren't happy about it, exactly, but nor were they expressly forbidding it. Despite a 10-year closure, Carvell still offered one of the most prestigious and competitive English literature programs in the country, with published novelists and internationally acclaimed academics among the glittering faculty. There was one eccentric lecturer, Professor Sanderson, who taught a Gothic literature seminar that was rumoured to send students mad. I didn't tell Mum and Dad about that one. Plus, the nightlife was practically non-existent. There was just one students' union and a couple of old-fashioned parlours on the campus, so the chances of me choking on my own vomit or drowning in a river were slim. Then, the hockey scholarship sealed the deal. Still, now that we were actually here, traipsing around Willowood Hall in search of my dorm, I could tell Dad was having second, third, and ninth thoughts. "Are you sure about this, kiddo?" he asked, hands gripped tightly around a box of books. He looked up at the North Tower, squinting against the late September sun, teeth working at the corner of his mouth like they always did when he was nervous. He'd worked in construction for decades, so was no stranger to physical risks of his own, but it was different when it came to me. He couldn't even stomach watching me play hockey. So now, to be leaving me on the site of Janie's death, on the day of my 19th birthday, the same age she was when she died, was a little too much for him to handle. I grinned, hoisting my hockey bag further up my shoulder. "Of course I'm sure, you goof." In truth, I was nervous too, but I didn't want to show it. The apprehension wasn't just about the school's bloody past, or what would happen if old demons came back to haunt it. I was also afraid that I would fail under the lofty academic pressure, because the reality was that I'd lived in the same small house in the same small town all my life. What if I didn't rise to whatever challenges were in store for me at Carvell? What if I was only a great hockey player and a great writer in the small world of Sevenoaks?
Chapter 2. Alice. Within 15 minutes of arriving at Carvell, I already wanted to slit someone's throat. The tweed-clad woman in front of me glared at her clipboard as though I had personally wronged her. "Name?" I shifted on the heels of my Doc Martens. They squeaked conspicuously on the checkerboard floor of the cavernous entrance hall,